Hi students. In previous class I said like E1, E2 and E1 CV reactions, and today we will discuss the comparison between the all types of reactions with different substrates. Okay, here if you see this table, here one side I am taking the different types of substrates, other side I am taking a base or a nucleophile. If you are taking a weak base or nucleophile, or if you are taking a moderate base or nucleophile, if you are taking a strong base or nucleophile. Weak bases means like water, alcohol, or phenol. Moderate bases means I minus, Br minus, Cl minus, Rs minus, RCO minus like. Strong bases or nucleophile means alcoholic KOH and alkoxide ion with alcohol, NaNH2 and NH3 mixture, they act as strong bases. Okay, suppose if first one is taken, first one means this is a primary alkyl halide. Always remember primary alkyl halide, generally if you are taking a weak base or weak nucleophile means you think like SN1 reaction occurs, or suppose primary alkyl halide so SN2 reaction occurs or E1 reaction occurs. Okay, what is the reaction occurs either means E1, E2 reaction, but in these all these reactions, the only one possibility, the only one possibility for this reaction is SN1 is not possible, E1 is not possible, E2 is not possible. Only SN2 reactions are possible. Even this is a weaker base, SN2 reaction is only possible. Okay, even this is a moderate base or nucleophile also, it will undergoes to SN2 reaction only. With a strong base or strong nucleophile also, it will undergoes to SN2 reaction only, because it doesn't undergoes to elimination process. A very rare carbene formation reaction, that is a reaction intermediate, even that reaction intermediate is unstable, that is an exception case, we can't say here. Okay, this is a primary only methyl alkyl halide, and this is also a primary alkyl halide. This is also a primary alkyl halide, and this is having a beta hydrogen atoms, and this is in the presence of weak base or weak nucleophile. Generally primary alkyl halide means the undergoes to SN2 reaction. Even moderate base or moderate nucleophile is taken, again they undergoes to SN2 reaction. And in strong base or strong nucleophile also, they undergoes to mainly SN2 reaction, and very rarely they shows E2 reaction. When they show E2 reaction means at high temperatures. High temperatures means more than 50 degrees Celsius temperature. It is very rare exception case. And if it is normally what they shows means SN2. Very common reaction. Common reaction is SN2 reaction. But at very high temperatures, if you are taking, rarely we will get alkenes by the E2 elimination reaction. Okay. And next, if a strong hindered base, bulky base is also taken, that gives the E2 reaction. Okay. So please remember, if bulky base is used, bulky base means I gave now, that is a tertiary butoxide. Suppose CH3 taken thrice, CO minus. Tertiary butoxide base is used, then E2 reaction occurs. Otherwise, it is a SN2 reaction. And next, we will go for secondary alkyl halides. Here, these are secondary alkyl halides. Here, secondary alkyl halides means the secondary alkyl halides. In the secondary alkyl halides, generally, if it is a weak base or a weak nucleophile, what is happening? SN1 reaction occurs or SN2 reaction occurs? Here it is a secondary alkyl halide, weak base, so it will show SN1 reaction or it will shows E1 reaction. When it will show SN1 reaction or E1 reaction means SN1 reaction at a low temperature. Please remember, at a low temperature, that is below 25 degrees Celsius or equal to 25 degrees Celsius. E1 reaction when means if you have high temperatures, that is 50 degrees Celsius, not 25, above 50 degrees Celsius or equal to 50 degrees Celsius, then it will show SN1 or E1 reaction. Otherwise, if it is a moderate base, then it will show SN2 reaction. If it is a moderate base, it will show SN2 reaction. And next, if there is a strong base, then they shows normally E2 reaction. Okay, if a strong base is used, then E2 reaction, this proton is removed and immediately the halogen is eliminated and E2 mechanism, single step mechanism occurs. Okay, and next, the last type, this is a tertiary alkyl halide. This is a tertiary alkyl halide, and if tertiary alkyl halide is used, when a tertiary alkyl halide is used, what happens? When tertiary alkyl halide is used, generally they undergoes to SN1 reaction very commonly, and in this also mostly if the temperature is below 25 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, it undergoes to E1 reaction. Here it is greater than 50 degrees Celsius. Or if it is a moderate base or a nucleophile, then either E1 or SN1 reaction occurs, and E1 reaction means more than 50 degrees Celsius, and SN1 reaction means less than 50 degrees 25 degrees Celsius. So it depends upon temperature largely. So tertiary alkyl halide also undergoes to SN1 or E1 reaction with weak nucleophile or base or moderate nucleophile or base. Okay. And lastly, what is formed means if it is a strong base, generally this tertiary alkyl halides also undergoes to E2 reactions mainly. Okay, mostly E2 reactions are shown by strong bases, but in this methyl halide only, it shows SN2 reaction because in methyl halide, the elimination doesn't favor. It is not giving a carbocation or it is not forming an intermediate step. So, elimination, methyl halide generally undergoes to SN2 reaction, and the remaining compounds if you are taking, it depends upon the temperature values. Okay, and if lower temperature, generally nucleophilic substitution, at higher temperature it undergoes to elimination reactions. So you please remember, whenever you are approaching for a molecule and in that molecule basing on the compound, basing on the condition given, base or nucleophile and temperatures given, you go for the type of mechanism. Okay. See in these examples, the first one CH3OH. Here we are taking ROH. ROH is what type of compound? Is it a strong base or weak base or strong nucleophile or weak nucleophile? It is not a base here, it acts as a nucleophile, and this is also a weak nucleophile. And here, here it is a CH3Cl. CH3Cl is given, then it is a ROH. Then alkyl halide reacting with a weak nucleophile means always what type of reaction occurs? SN2 reaction. SN2 reaction means here what is the nucleophile means RO minus and H plus, and here this Cl group is removed and the RO minus attacks from the back side. So what is product? CH3OR plus HCl is formed. So what type of reaction is this? It is SN2 reaction. See the second compound. In this compound, they gave two types of reactants and reagents. In this first one is alcoholic KOH. Second one is a tertiary butoxide. This is called as tertiary butoxide. Tertiary butoxide and tertiary butyl alcohol mixture at high temperature given. Means it is like a bulky base. So when we are taking a bulky base, so here bulky base is given, it is a normal simple base is given, but high temperature and strong base. When strong base high temperature means generally what happens? Strong base and high temperatures means It is E2 reaction. Here this is E2 reaction, and here bulky base high temperature, and this bulky base high temperature means also it is E2 reaction, but here the products will be different because E2 reaction, but here simple base can attack. Here this is alpha carbon. I will give, this is alpha carbon and this is the beta carbon available, this is the beta carbon available, and this is the beta carbon available. These two are same type, this is a different type, less hydrogen containing beta carbon, it is more hydrogen containing beta carbon. So simple base, when we use, the Sedgwick rule is followed, it follows Sedgwick rule. Whenever Sedgwick rule is followed, what happens? The less hydrogen containing beta carbon which gives the proton, and so the product will be CH3 and C, CH3, and here chlorine is removed and we are getting a new bond. Here hydrogen or proton is removed, so we are getting CH and CH3 is formed. That is the main product, and this is Sedgwick product. Please remember, it is a Sedgwick product. But here this is a bulky base, strong base, but it is bulky base. Because of its strong bulky nature, it cannot attack on this carbon because of the steric repulsions, and so it attacks on the less sterically crowded carbon atom, and so either this or this will be attacked. Suppose if here it is attacking, this remove the proton, and so we are getting CH2 here and double bond, next CH3 and next CH2 and CH3. So this is actually Hofmann. Opposite to Sedgwick is called as Hofmann elimination. So this is called as Hofmann elimination product. So Sedgwick elimination occurs in simple base and Hofmann elimination occurs in the presence of a bulky base. Okay, it is very important, please remember. Okay, you see these two types of molecules, what are the products? What is the major product formed? So the first example, if you are taking in the first example, and this is second example, bromine is definitely removed from one carbon atom. This is one carbon. Additionally, you have beta carbon. This is a beta carbon. This is a beta carbon, and this is alpha carbon, and this is also a beta carbon. From this beta carbon or from this beta carbon, the proton removal occur. If you see, here this beta carbon has two hydrogen. This beta carbon has one hydrogen and one methyl group. Okay, so which is removed means as per the Sedgwick elimination occurs. Because of Sedgwick elimination, what happens? This hydrogen and this bromine is removed, and the reaction occurs easily, and we are getting the product easily. Suppose this is the product. Okay, we are getting here this methyl group is present, hydrogen is removed, so you will get a double bond here, and here one more hydrogen is present. Okay, one more hydrogen is present, here two hydrogen atoms are present. So this is what is the product means, it is a Sedgwick elimination product. Sedgwick elimination product. Okay, but here this is alpha carbon, this is alpha carbon, and this is beta carbon, and this is beta carbon. What is the difference between these two? First tell me. Have you observed any difference? Yes, here this beta carbon hydrogen is upward, above the plane, and in this beta carbon hydrogen is below the plane. Here bromine is present. Okay, we remove the bromine atom definitely, and next we need to remove the hydrogen. According to Sedgwick, it is less hydrogen containing, but this is more hydrogen containing. But what is the product here? What is the major product here formed means this is the major product formed. So here this is a hydrogen, and here this is H, and this is CH3, and here the hydrogen is eliminated and we are getting the double bond. Means what is the hydrogen removed? This hydrogen. Why it is not removed? Why this hydrogen is not removed? Means The removal or in the E2 elimination, generally both are E2 elimination reactions. Both are E2 elimination reactions because it is a strong base and this is a high temperature is present. So both are E2 elimination. In the E2 elimination reaction, anti-periplanar. Please remember that word, anti-periplanar. Anti-periplanar means the two atoms, hydrogen and bromine, or hydrogen and halogen, from different planes we can remove. If they are present in same plane, what happens? Repulsions are there. What is we are writing in E2 reaction? A transition state. Base attacks from the same side and proton, the leaving group is going from the same side means you will get repulsions. Just I will show one more example. Here if you see this type of example, this is the example. Here this is a benzene ring type. Here I gave the benzene ring and here if you check this is the example. Okay, here this is methyl group and this is the hydrogen and this is the bromine atom and this is one more hydrogen and this is the two hydrogen atoms present. So if you check like this, so methyl group, this is methyl group, hydrogen, check that one and this one, methyl group, hydrogen, bromine, hydrogen and hydrogen, hydrogen. So when we are removing the two atoms, one from the above the plane, this is above the plane and this is below the plane. If you remove above the plane and below the plane, there is no steric repulsions. Here the base will attacks on this and living group is going from this. So you will get a double bond between these two carbon atom. This two carbon atom is getting a double bond. Okay, so this is called as anti-periplanar elimination. Okay, first suppose if you have reverse I am writing, if you have this type of molecule, means second molecule what I give. Here see in second molecule the methyl group, here the methyl group is upper and hydrogen is down and bromine is down, hydrogen is upper, same, both are same. So if you try to remove this one and this one, bromine, hydrogen, then both are in same place, same plane. If you remove like this, it is very difficult. They have steric repulsions. A transition state is like this only. So whenever the transition state is present like this, then there is repulsion and so it doesn't occurs. Okay, so because of this reason, anti-periplanar elimination is a very common. Anti-periplanar means they are present in different planes. They are present in different planes, they are taken. Okay, not in the same plane. So even though it is a ZF, it is a Hoffman product. Actually, what is this? More hydrogen containing beta hydrogen, beta carbon. So what is this product name actually? It is a Hoffman. It is a Hoffman product. Whatever it may be, Hoffman product is major here instead of ZF product because this is only the anti-periplanar elimination here. Okay, so we are getting this product. This is also an important example. Please remember this.